Well, welcome to Hamilton County TV. I'm Perry Williams, and alongside me today is Jake Gilbert, the head football coach of the Westfield Shamrocks. Coach, we're having another show, and it's week 14.
Yep.
So anytime you get to practice Thanksgiving week, it's a good thing, right?
Always. Done it a few times, complete and total honor. So a lot of people don't understand that, but the kids want to practice on Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, Coach, you went up to Maryville and came out victorious 41-23, but they really got a touchdown late when you had a lot of your subs in. It probably wasn't as close as even the score says. What was it like in the preparation and everything? Let's talk a little bit about that, because that's the longest travel you've had.
Well, it was a long trip. We found out about 2 hours before we left that we were going to be down an athletic trainer. We couldn't tape beforehand because the tape job doesn't last that long. So we had to tape when we got there, but we couldn't change the buses at that point. And so we got up there and it was helter-skelter. So we had to rearrange our bus seating plan because something wasn't improved or approved for COVID reasons. So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things on the COVID front that people don't know about. And then but it all works out in the end. And so we barely got warmed up for the game, but then our guys played pretty well. That was a great team. We gave up a busted coverage touchdown early. But then otherwise we defended them, got 3 takeaways, and our offense got on a roll in the third quarter for sure.
Well, Coach, a great victory up there. Now the big time, you're going to Lucas. It's state championship time. You're playing a team that we're very used to because Center Grove's always on the news. I mean, they're Wish TV covers a lot of their football games and broadcasts them, and then the Indianapolis Star. So, you know, at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of talk that Westfield would win the North and Center Grove or Carmel would win the South. And it's now time.
Here we are. Yeah. I think the 2 best teams are still here. I honestly believe that. This is how it should be. They're number 1, we're number 2. Excited for the opportunity to play them. We have a lot of respect for them. Great program. A lot of what we do here, I modeled after what they do there in a way when we came. You know, I felt like we had to develop our kids like they have to, kind of be the Center Grove of the North. So we're somewhat sister schools in terms of size and location to the city of Indianapolis. And we're probably 10 years behind them, but I'm excited to play them. So what a great opportunity for us.
Well, Coach Moore's been at it a while, too, and he's had complete control over that entire program.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit that, because when your football players get interviewed, your Hausers, your Voras, those type players, they always talk about family. I mean, the one comment that Micah Hauser said after the game was, we started dreaming about this in the 5th and 6th grade. So talk about a little bit about that process of this is not an overnight thing for you.
Yeah, we're pretty homegrown here. I think every player that starts for us played here in middle school. So even though it's a fast-growing community, we haven't necessarily gotten those kids yet in the football program at the high school level. So we've been at it for a long time. We encourage our kids to dream the big dream, but not wait until they're juniors to do so. We tell them to do that when they're, in 4th and 5th grade, and hang in there and play for the Rocks all these years, and you have a chance to play in a game like this. So with this trip, I know every class from 2000, the graduating class of 2014 to 2024, a 10-year span, will have been able to play in Lucas Oil for a championship. So we want our kids to feel like, man, if we just stick with it, we'll get a chance to get a ring at some point.
Well, that's really a great story, and that's kind of how you built this program. Because the one thing that allowed you to do this is, a motto I was always said that great leaders surround themselves with a lot of good people, and you've been very blessed to do that. And the one thing about the blessing is it gives you the opportunity to get down there in those 4th and 5th grade, because not all coaches get to do that.
Right. Well, we've had a great administration that wanted to win and saw value in what we do and who we are and how we treat kids and the impact that we can have on the school overall. And they have enabled me to run the program the way we run it. So first off, just thanks to them, the foundation that Bill Davis, Stacy McGuire, now Andy Tebby and Alicia Denniston. I mean, what they've done for us has been amazing. So then we were able to hire the kind of staff that we needed. All of our coaches are I think every single position is coached by someone who's been at least a high school offensive or defensive coordinator, or maybe a head coach or college coach. So that kind of depth of experience and knowledge is pretty amazing to have at the high school level. So I feel fine with those guys leading and running things if I need to be a little more involved. So my role here is mainly the culture and leadership of the team, and then building the program. I need to make sure that what our coaches get from the middle schools of the quality of person, character, and player that will allow us to make trips like this.
Well, that's great, Coach. Now, let's talk a little bit about Center Grove. There's probably not much that we don't already know that we as football fans, I mean, we know Carson Steele is a great running back. Weemans, the other running backs, got over 900 yards. They run. They got a great quarterback in Jackson who can throw the ball, but, they're right around 3,500 yards on the ground and 1,635 through the air. So, it's a run game. But they will throw the football, which has to really keep you on your deep backs on their toes.
Very moldable, good players overall. I would say that they're pretty elite at running back. A lot of people feel like Weems is as good as Steele. I think Steele's pretty elite. He's got a next level balance and just size and speed. So both of those guys, though, are tremendous. We're going to have to tackle those backs if we expect to win. And obviously, they block well, or else you don't run for all those yards. And then the quarterback, he's a good athlete. He's excellent touch on his ball. They, Center Grove does not have a tradition of passing, but that shows you the kind of trust that they have in this guy to throw the football.
Yeah, because that has not been the philosophy of Coach Moore over his career at all.
Right.
But let's talk a little bit about that defense they have, because, they score a lot of points, but they played some pretty good defense.
Well, they give up less than 7 per game, which is amazing, right? So we're going to have our work cut out for us. I would say it's maybe the best defensive line I've ever seen in high school football. They have one guy in particular who's just unreal. So, but they're good. They're good at linebacker. The D line's elite. We're going to have to block them and sustain. A lot of people, we can throw the ball and we can run the ball, but you have to have time to do both those things. Yeah. So we're going to have to block them. Bottom line is we're going to have to block that defensive line.
But the one thing about it is, I guess on the other side for the Westfield Shamrocks, I feel like after doing 9 football games of yours this season, you never know what to expect from an offense of the Westfield Shamrocks. Because, in the Maryville game, you even had Maximum Webster punt the ball. Okay,
yeah.
The kid has shown you he could throw. He showed you in that ball game, again, 130 yards.
Yeah.
You just load him on my back, and you just and I'll carry you the way.
Well, with the injuries we had at tailback and receiver earlier in the year, we've just had to be flexible, and we try to attack other teams' weaknesses and put our guys in positions where they can make plays. Obviously, Mason Peening's an outstanding receiver. Micah Hauser's had an outstanding year, but the last 2 weeks, Mason's caught 1 ball and Micah's had 1 carry, and we've scored over 40 points in both those games. So that at the regional and semi-state. So that shows you it's not just like a one-person show around here. Our offense has done a great job all year spreading the ball around, getting the ball to playmakers in space, blocking up front. So hopefully we have enough weapons to boost that Center Grove scoring average quite a bit on Friday.
And the other thing, too, I think, is your defense. Going in day one, you talked about your defensive backs and how they were going to have to carry you earlier till that front four came on, or some of your linebackers, who has played a lot of minutes,
Yeah.
but in different positions, so.
Yeah, I think our defense, if you take the first game out of it, they're only giving up about a touchdown a game, if that. And so they've been on fire in the postseason for the most part. So the one thing we weren't doing was taking the ball away. But the last 3 games, we've had 3 takeaways apiece. Dylan Thieneman got an interception last game. Benji Welch, 2 interceptions the game before. Bryson Hoover forced a fumble. Carson Vorst forced a fumble. So we have some guys starting to get that ball out. And that obviously is something we're going to need to win a game like this. So I'm really proud of our defense. They play well together. We're not big, but we run to the ball really well. We generally team tackle pretty well, and I think we can play good enough to get this one.
The one thing through the season is it's been very, very difficult sometimes to talk about who had a great game, because you had so many people
Right.
at so many different times that contributed to that game, okay? And I mean, from your O-line, your D-line, your deep backs, Hauser had some great games,
Yep.
Maximum Webster, and Carson Voorhees, for what you have asked him to do as a senior,
Yeah.
change positions.
Yeah.
And in fact, this last one of being a running back, and he's never even done it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of remarkable, and it shows you the faith in your team, and it also shows the team's faith too in you to make those decisions.
Well, we have smart kids, that helps. So they can learn, and they can learn fast. And I think we have creative coaches. Coach Slicker, our offensive coordinator, and Coach Miracle, our defensive coordinator. We're not tied to a system as much as we're tied to our kids. And we want to put our players in position to make plays and win the game. Well, sometimes when you have players out for COVID or injury or whatever it may be, you have to adapt or die. And so we need to be flexible and not force a square peg into the round hole. It may sound funny from a team that's in state championship, but that's what we feel like we have to do every week, and we do what it takes. And so I'm really proud of our coaches for their flexibility and our players' ability to learn and study and put in the film work and everything it takes to be moved around a little bit each week based on who we have and who we're playing.
Well, Coach, I appreciate doing this interview today. I know you've got a hectic schedule here. We're just a few days away from you playing in Lucas Oil, which is, is it still tough to realize that you are here after the first interview we had back when you were so glad just to play a football
Just to play.
game?
It's just unique. This year, the overwhelming gratitude just to be able to play football. Glory be to God. We're just thankful that we had a season, and then for it to turn out like this. In the beginning, I just wanted our seniors just to get to play one time, and now for us to be able to do this and make it all the way and have this great team, it's been amazing. But no matter what, even though we're all the way here, it just ends so abruptly. So I'm glad that it's on our terms. We love these kids so much. We're just going to try to enjoy these last few days we have with them, because things change when it's done. And we're going to miss them. But they have been such a pleasure to coach, and it's been an honor. So we are glad to share our Thanksgiving with this team and to coach them in a state championship game.
Well, good luck, Coach, at Lucas Oil, and I know all of Hamilton County. And hey, check the history books. This is the first time a Hoosier Crossroad Conference has ever been in 6A football championship. Okay,
We're happy to be the first.
Yeah, and that's a great honor to you and the job you've done. And I appreciate all the help you've given Hamilton County TV this year and allowing us to come inside your room here and interview and talk to you. Appreciate it.
We're thankful for HCTV and just so many parents and grandparents and alumni and people who watch the game. I hear from so many people that they're going to watch it online, and we are beyond thankful this Thanksgiving for what HCTV has done for us. So thank you.
We appreciate that, and good luck, Coach.
All right, thank you. Go Rocks.